Hello again, everyone, and welcome. Good to see you all. Welcome to the Speakeasy with Shipping Easy. I'm Rob Zaleski, the head of brand for Shipping Easy. And Speakeasy is an informal event where industry professionals and seasoned small business owners share their e-commerce stories, tips, and strategies. We hope you'll learn, maybe laugh, and leave with a few new ideas and ways to improve and manage your e-commerce orders, your business, and your shipping. I am also joined here with a good friend of mine, Josh Williams, our Senior Manager of Implementation here at Shipping Easy. And today we'll be chatting a bit about how SMBs can give customers the same experiences that meet customer expectations of big businesses. So, Josh, feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Rob. It's always good to be back here doing this with you. Yeah, so my name's Josh. I head our implementation team over here at Shipping Easy. I've been on the Shipping Easy brand for about going on 6.5 years now. So really, really exciting to be still doing this. And this is one of my favorite things is getting to interact with some of our merchants. So really excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Me too. And with that, I think we can go ahead and dive right in. We've been doing some research in the industry, and that research has shown that the modern customer wants to support smaller businesses, but they don't want to give up the robust, personalized, frictionless, and easy experience that they've come to expect. Now, unfortunately, many SMB owners do not feel equipped to meet those standards of the customer demands. So, in this discussion, we're going to walk through some ways that SMB owners can provide those big business experiences on a lower budget and without getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure. And just for those of you who may not know, SMB for us stands for small to medium business. So you may hear that term. If you didn't know it, you know it now. And if you did, you're in good company with me who just found that out because it it seems to be something maybe the marketing team, deals with. So, but Rob, I appreciate you setting the stage. I think it's a good place to start. Is really for, what are customer expectations right now? What kind of things did you guys uncover in the research that you mentioned in terms of customer expectations as they are today?
Yeah, honestly, one of the things that the data showed pretty clearly is that to thrive in this ever evolving customer demands of small businesses and large businesses, businesses need to embrace the omni-channel experience. And
Okay.
in other words, what that means is you need to be where your customers are and where they expect you to be. So we've actually split the audience into two buckets. One is digital natives, so people that are under 45 years old who kind of grew up with a lot of the online technology and watched it evolve. And then the digital adopters who are typically 45 and up and who didn't really grow up and had to adapt to this new technology and didn't have it as they were kind of growing up when they were younger. So digital natives are really interesting because they're shopping online in higher numbers and they do their
Hmm.
research, which is not surprising, right? Like if they grew up with the technology, they're going to gravitate towards the online rather than the in-store.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but overall, the number one way to discover products across all shoppers is still search engines, which I think probably is not a huge surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the number two is online marketplaces. So think Amazon,
Okay.
Etsy, eBay, Wish, things like that, where you can search a large breadth of merchants. And then overall, the third is brand sites. So your website that you have that you sell on. So if you're a merchant and you're only selling on your website, you are missing out on the number two way to get found. And if you don't have great SEO, if you're not getting found in search engines when people are searching for the types of products that you sell, you're missing the first two ways of getting found. So it
Yeah, good
really
point.
emphasizes the
Yeah.
importance of multi-channel selling, right?
And that's what you mean by omni-channel, right? Is not just this one place, but we have to spread out a little bit, have to kind of widen the net, so to
Yes,
speak, right?
absolutely.
Okay.
And we're also going to include physical presence, which I'll talk a little bit about. I'll talk a little bit more about here in a second.
Okay.
But mixing that online, in person, and multi-online stores is going to be the best way to try to find success with the digital natives and the digital adopters. Now, if you split out the digital natives and digital adopters, that top three changes a little bit. And social commerce, so actually buying from things like Facebook Marketplace, TikTok Shop,
Ah,
Snapchat, that's actually gained a lot of traction with the digital natives, and it's actually their number three for places that they go to search for products, especially with the what is referred to as the Gen Z, the younger crowd.
hmm.
They are actually turning TikTok into a search engine just as much as Google. They're going on to TikTok and searching for the types of things that most people use Google to search for. And
Man, I tell you,
so
that TikTok algorithm has me dialed in. I
it's
get it.
amazing,
I
right?
get it. Yeah.
And it's really crazy to think about that a social network is actually a search engine for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But that's where they're not even only going to search for products, they're going to search for recommendations. They're going to search for influencers talking about products. And so that is their number three place to go to try to find products and things about products. And
Makes
so,
sense. Makes sense.
yeah,
Totally makes sense if you can see somebody demo something, you know, like in a video on a social platform like that, that gives you a little bit of a, you know, uh, wow, that looked really cool. That, oh, it actually worked, you know, and yeah, that's really fascinating though. Interesting.
yep. And I can tell you the number of people who are simply just showing a product to try to sell it from their TikTok shop has grown in my algorithm exponentially over the past year or two. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then on top of that, though, like having a physical and online store can actually help build your online presence.
Mm.
There's this interesting phenomenon that we've discovered called the halo effect. So it's where having a physical presence in that location can actually increase your online sales in that location. I actually
Oh,
just experienced this 2 weeks ago, and it was really interesting to kind of go back to the data, like, oh, yeah, that actually happened to me. My wife and I were out and about just doing some shopping, and we both had just gone to our optometrist recently and kind of got updated prescriptions. And there was a Warby Parker store here in Austin. So we stopped in, just tried to try on some glasses, try to see if we found anything that we really liked. But neither of us had our prescriptions with us. So we literally took pictures of the frames that we liked and the name of that frame, and then a couple of days later, went onto the Warby Parker website, placed the order by inputting all of our,
yeah.
prescription information in there,
Yeah.
and had the order shipped to us. And
Very
that is
cool.
happening a lot. Like,
Yeah.
so if you have a physical store, even if it's just like a pop-up shop or, a holiday bazaar, you're selling at a farmer's market, those can still translate into online stores because it gives people the physical experience that they'll remember when they're shopping online, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Totally makes sense though. That's really cool. Yeah.
And so, when we're talking about customer expectations, though, across the whole spectrum of shoppers around the world, I know that this is global campaign or global research. There's just a few things that they will not tolerate, and that is going to be high shipping fees,
Hmm.
damaged items, and a
Hmm.
difficult returns process.
Mm.
So, Josh, let's hop in for a little bit here and let's kind of show people what it looks like when you can be selling on multiple places, but have all of that stuff in one place
Yep.
and how kind of efficient that makes you in meeting customer demands.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be glad to. So I'm here in my Shipping Easy account. So first thing I'm gonna do is go to our settings over here. And then right under integration, stores and orders. Here's where I'm going to see all of my different stores that I have connected. This one's disconnected, but this is where they'll live. And then obviously we give you a manual order store. Everybody gets a manual order store with their Shipping Easy account. And that comes in handy for, like you said, Rob, those kind of those, you know, a pop-up event, a manual order, maybe oh, I don't know, yeah, somebody's hosting something, you know, an in-house event or something like that. Something that's not coming through on a selling channel per se, you can use the manual order store and upload that group of orders to get your labels in here. Um, So this is where you would go if you need to add a store. It's really easy. The button's right over there. To add a new store, you basically just click that. It asks you what kind of store you adding. You put that in. You enter your credentials, and you're off and running. So, so this is where you could do that, and that again would give you kind of that omnipresence online to have the multiple stores here. Um, the other thing I wanted to show you is how do we keep all of that straight? How do we keep it, on our orders page, if we have orders coming in from all of our different channels, how do I see, one or orders from one order source versus the other? Really easily up here in this filters menu, there's one for store, and we have your different stores listed right here. All you need to do is go ahead. Right now, if they're all unchecked, it's basically showing you everything kind of all together. But to just see, for instance, orders from this particular store, I would just click the checkbox, and there you see the store is loaded up in the filter. You can also see the store category column right here. And now I only see orders from just that specific store. Again, if I just go ahead and click the X, I remove it. And now I'm back to all of my orders. So really, really simple to kind of keep things straight. And, if you want to see how is one store performing versus the other, instead of just having a bunch of orders all in one view, you can go ahead and kind of parse them out that way.
And Josh, if you don't need to split out and you just want to just print everything, that's also possible, right?
That's the beauty of Shipping Easy, in the fact that we go ahead and put all your orders there. You can go ahead and do a select all, buy and print, and you've got labels coming out for orders from all of your selling platforms, right? Shipping Easy doesn't necessarily care what we're printing the label for in terms of what store it came from. All it knows is that you need a shipping label for this package, and we're going to go ahead and get it to you. So yeah, super easy that way.
Love it. So now that we've kind of covered orders, we're going to talk about this first big customer expectation, and that's going to be shipping costs.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Hot
this is
button.
one of merchants' favorite topics.
Yep, for sure.
So the research has definitely shown that cost of delivery is still that number one priority, and it's
Yep.
by a wide margin. And it is second followed by speed of delivery. So almost 3/4 of customers want that delivery within 2 to 4 days of ordering.
Yep.
So not only do you have to get it to them cheap, you got to get it to them quickly. One way to cost effectively meet customer demands is to potentially forego free shipping for everyone or free shipping no matter what, and find ways to make it a premium feature. So
Mhm.
many merchants are actually moving to premium delivery for a small fee to attempt to kind of like boost profits while still satisfying customers. Um, the digital natives group actually are surprisingly willing to pay up for a faster speed, especially if they live in big cities. So if you know your demographic of customers,
Mhm.
and you can kind of parse that out to the ones who are, in bigger cities or who skew younger, offering them the ability to have a faster delivery, but with a fee, actually is becoming a little bit more common among larger merchants. And then on top of that, many consumers are willing to wait a little longer just to get free shipping. So it doesn't have to necessarily be both. It's partially knowing your audience and understanding how cost sensitive they are or how speed sensitive they are.
Sure.
And it's definitely a thing worth testing with your customers to see where you find the balance that gets you the most cost effective way for you to ship to them without losing as much margin while still keeping your customers happy.
Makes sense. Yeah, I know for me, when I find something I want it now. I want it yesterday, right?
Exactly.
And I'm like, depending on what that cost is to get it next day or get it today, I weigh it, will I pay that in order to get it faster? Or I check with my wife and she's like, no, just wait, be patient. And because she's more patient than I am, but I totally understand that. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then, again, that also depend on the urgency of the item itself, right? There might be things that have a finite amount
Sure.
that I might have run out of, and so I need it as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, good point.
Whereas, if I just need, you know, a knickknack or, a toy that's, for a birthday party in 2 weeks, I can probably wait a little bit to save on shipping.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Now,
definitely the timing of, in terms of what you have going on factors into that. I know when we get close to the holidays and it's like,
yep.
I forgot that one person. I didn't mean it, right? I forgot,
Yes.
I gotta get it. I gotta get that one per. Don't tell them, but I gotta get it here. So that makes sense. Yeah,
Which is why it's really important to offer your customers different options and
sure.
kind of see where they end up skewing. But the kind of caveat to this is, as a merchant, and you're trying to offer free or discounted shipping, you have to start by paying less for the rates of you pay to get your
Yeah.
labels. So, Josh, let's hop back into the app and kind of demonstrate how to browse rates and kind of set up some shipping rules to let merchants kind of save on autopilot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good point. All right, so we're back here on our orders page. I'm just gonna pick an order. We'll go with this one. Let's see, that may be international though. Let's go right here. So one thing that we can do is on a per order, what we can look at in this window here is this is going to be kind of where it loads up the order details, right? So we have the total weight here. Shipping Easy is going to go ahead and just calculate the total weight of the shipment based on the weight of the products that are in the order. But say I'm not really sure what I want to use. Right up at the top here, and for some of you, maybe you've never noticed this button right here, but we do have something called Browse Rates. So what you can do is go ahead and click that. And from here, we want to say it's just a regular package. I'm going to put my box as a not 70. I want to put it by like 777, 2 pounds, 7 ounces. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it on Browse Rates. And so now I have all of the order detail. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all of my services that I have connected in Shipping Easy, and it's going to load up the rate for each of those. So, for instance, this one, it's recommending UPS Ground Saver. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's recommending UPS Ground, right? So, that is highlighted here. But I can definitely see, if I want to send that, say I want to use, the postal service instead, I can go ahead and just click on priority mail there, and it would give me the rate for that. But it's a really quick way to see how, one carrier maybe compares against the other. Sometimes it's by a significant margin. Other times it's maybe, a couple of pennies, but that's the option that you have. And then one thing that you can do though is like what you said, Rob, in terms of a shipping rule, is what we can do is say we know of the cheapest and most efficient way to get a specific shipment to our customers, right? And we just want to make sure that we ship it the same way every time. One way to do that would be to create a shipping rule. So if we go into our settings and do shipping rule, and then we can click on add new. And what we need to do first is give our rule a name. So we're just going to call this, let's see, shipment one. And then our rule works off of an if-then statement. So if this is true, then do this. So say, for instance, if the orders that come in through a specific store, say they come in from my Candlestone store, all of my Candlestone store orders, for whatever reason, are going to be best shipped a certain way. I can say if store is equal to Candlestone, then I'm going to go in here and set a shipping preset. And a preset is the combination of the carrier, the service, and the packaging. Just those three things make a preset. And you can do that if you don't have one already created. It's really easy to go up here into the presets menu and go ahead and make one. But I've already made one, and I've already determined that my orders coming in through store Candlestone, they're always going to be shipped UPS ground. So I go ahead and select that, and then I'm going to click on Save Rule. And once I do that, then that rule is active. And what that means is that I don't have to do anything. Once an order comes into Shipping Easy, that rule is going to run. It's going to automatically apply UPS Ground and just leave it on the orders page for me to then fulfill. And that way I know when I come to the orders page and I see that UPS Ground is already selected for an order, I know, oh, I don't even have to think. I know that this one is going to be the cheapest way to get that package where it needs to go the most efficient way possible. And I just go ahead and double check and then hit click to print the label. So it's that easy.
It is so easy. And I do think it's also really important to note here that automation like this doesn't just make things easier. It literally saves some of our merchants hours
Oh
per
man.
day, not even
Yep.
just per week, per day, and allows them to free up time and staff to work on building the business, which I think is super important.
That's the huge benefit, right? The more that you can put into an automated process, the more it frees you up as the business owner to focus on, your marketing strategy, to focus on, whatever else you want to do other than having to figure out, okay, what is going to give me, what is the best way to ship this? You've already figured it out, you've done the homework, you've done the work, and it just happens.
Exactly. And that actually takes me right to our next topic, which is personalized communications and messaging with your customers. So, the research found that almost half of consumers want periodic updates on their package's progress. And they're increasingly
Mhm.
wanting those via text message instead of emails. Some even want daily updates on where their package is. I mean, talk about really looking forward to that package arriving.
Yep. I get it. I get it.
Yeah. And so they also want to be engaged. They want to be engaged with special offers. They want easy ways to contact you if there's a problem. And they want an experience that doesn't feel generic. And so, again, not all SMBs really feel that they have the ability to provide that type of experience to their customers. So, something that Shipping Easy offers is called branded tracking, and it's free to everyone who uses Shipping Easy. And there are other tools out there that are similar, but this is free, included with the Shipping Easy account, and it allows you to create a tracking page. So when they click that link from their phone or from their email, it's not going to take them to a carrier's website that completely loses all of your branding. It's going to take them to a page that has your branding, your links, your special offers, allows you to completely customize it down to the colors of your brand. And it gives them a unique experience that doesn't take them out of your branded environment. So Josh, let's hop back into the app and take a look at what the branded tracking setup looks like and how much you can customize that.
Yeah, for sure. This is really, I think, just such a powerhouse move that customers already have available to them in their Shipping Easy account. Some may not even know. But your branded tracking settings are going to be over here in your left-hand navigation menu, and it's going to be under tracking. Once you click on tracking, if you've never set this up, there's going to be a process that walks you through step by step how to do that. I have my tracking page live, as you can see the toggle right here. But say I want to make a change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit Branded Tracking. And this is what it looks like if like I said, if you've never set it up before, this is the process. So um, over here is the preview window. So you can see what that test link is going to look like on both mobile, desktop, and a tablet. And like Rob said, it's all customizable, right? So for our purposes here, I'm just going to maybe leave it on the mobile view. It's kind of easy to see. Um, Now, if I have a store name I've already set up in my store settings, it's going to pull that name in right here. If not, I can go ahead and put a store name in here, as well as the URL. This is going to be maybe a support email address that if your customer has questions or they want to ask you something, want to know a little bit more, you would go ahead and put that in here, phone number as well. And as you start adding these things, you'll see it live update over here and change. And then once I do that, I'm going to select what stores this tracking is going to be enabled for. So I'm going to leave it for all my stores. Then I'm going to click next. Now, this is where it gets really cool. I can change the layout if I want, just by clicking this button right here. I can move things around. I can drag and drop things. It gets very, very, and again, this is live too, so you can go ahead and actually play with it and see how it feels. I can also set my theme of what kind of color scheme I want to work with, and what I want to, and then I can go ahead and get a little bit more fine-tuned in here and customize as well. Obviously, if you have a store logo, you want to make sure that that is put in here. Of course, mine is Nick Cage because it's Nick Cage, right? So you can go ahead and put that in there. Make sure that this is all filled in. This is really your brand. So you want to make sure it's true to your product and your brand. Click next. Here's where all of your social links go. Just the URL is all we need, and we're going to go ahead and add, those into your page. I think these ones I have them right here in the menu. But again, you can move those around. And then if you want to highlight maybe a specific product that you maybe want to get rid of, maybe or a product that you want to boost sales with, you can go ahead and make a menu item here. So if I call this, like, say I'm selling like a mouse pad, I think people still use those. I'm going to go ahead and put the link for that mouse pad right here. And then what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and add it in this menu right there. So easy. And then if you have a return policy, you can put that here. So that way everything is upfront for the customer. And then when you do that, it's just a save and publish, and that means it is live. So I hit save and publish, and this is what it would look like, right? And then down here are some settings. Here is where you can give your customers the ability to opt into those, like, up to date, like you said, Rob, want to check it every hour, want to check it every day, those SMS or text notifications right here. We'll keep track of all of the click through rate and all of that for your different links and show you that here. But this is kind of your global view to see how your tracking page is working and performing. The great thing is that there's nothing that you need to do to resize it for different platforms. Shipping Easy takes care of all of that. And the other really good thing is that this isn't, when your customer clicks on that link that they get from you for that order, it doesn't take them to the carrier page initially. It takes them to a page, again, that is consistent with your brand. It keeps them there and gives them as much detail as possible. Now, there is a link on that page to go to the carrier page if they want, so that is an option. But what we find is most customers who want to see an update, they get their update right on that page. It's consistent with the brand, and that seems to work for them, and they're satisfied with that.
Yeah, I love that. And you can also add a promo image on there as well. If you have like
For
a sale that you're
sure.
having, something like that, it becomes almost like a digital flyer of like, hey, here's your tracking information. But also, did you know about this sale we have coming next week?
Yep,
Which I
exactly.
think is a
Or
lot
if
of
you're
fun.
gonna, yeah, if, like you said, you're gonna be doing a pop-up event somewhere, great time to advertise that. Yeah, it's just, there's so many possibilities. If you have not ever set up your branded tracking page, go do it. You're missing out if you don't, and it's so easy to do it. So just go for it.
And way to bring it back to the Omni channel. Nice job.
Right? Yeah. See, I'm learning.
But also another thing that Josh mentioned on there is the ability to put your returns policy on there. And I know this is probably every online merchant's least favorite topic to cover is returns.
It's
Um,
yeah.
but we got to cover it because it's an important part.
Yep.
Because the data shows that while current online sales account for about 20% of global non-food retail, they make up about 50% of returns, which is a giant number.
Wow. Yeah.
And that being said, smart businesses will focus on having a flexible, affordable returns policy to win over shoppers in 2024 and beyond. Returns are an instrumental part of the omni-channel experience. As it's interesting because there are actually more customers who are opting into going to what are called out of home options. So they're showing a willingness to actually leave their house to return a product to a physical location to be able to return it for free.
Mm,
Um, it's interesting, younger generations who grew up with this technology, they're actually making some of the most returns because they're actually treating online purchases more like trials than final purchases because
mm.
they just deem returning them so easy. And this group is more likely to research and compare products online before purchasing, which means they might be more comfortable making a purchase from a merchant who they know has a hassle-free return policy available to them versus one that is not,
For
or
sure.
honestly, one that they can't find.
Yep.
That's one of the main points is always make sure that your returns policy is easy, very visible, and basically anywhere a customer looks, they should be able to find that return policy. It's
Yep.
very important.
Yep.
But it's interesting, with this out of home returns option, you can actually boost foot traffic. You can charge for online returns, but keep in-store returns free. Or, if you have a pop-up shop, just say, meet us at any one of these pop-up shops, check our social for our next pop-up shop if you need to do a return. And
Oh, good point. Yeah.
yeah, and so that not only helps increase foot traffic to potentially create another sale, or they may be willing to buy something else while they're there, but it makes it easy for them to find you and come to you physically, and then you don't have to worry about paying for a shipping label for free returns.
Sure.
And like I said, the most important thing is to make sure that your returns policy is clear, easy to find, and easy as possible because a poor returns policy is one of the top reasons for cart abandonment, and a poor returns experience is still a top reason that people do not return to a merchant after an initial purchase. So, as much as we all hate having to talk about returns, it is a crucial element to online retail that could make or break your customers' experiences.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good. I mean, we all have, I think, made a return, at one point or another, right? And the less friction in that process, I know for me, if I know the return is going to be easy and I can trust it, then I'm going to come back to that merchant. I'm going to shop it there again just because I know, oh, if I do have any issue, they're going to be able to take care of me.
yep, and that is again, the younger the customer skew, the more important that is actually becoming. So those customers are going to continue growing up, and so that's
Yeah,
not going to go away.
yeah, yeah, for
And so
sure.
with that, Josh, let's kind of look at how do you do a return in shipping easy, and how do we make this easier for merchants to deal with?
Sure, sure. So I always get a bit surprised in that I've seen some customers go through a lot of work in order to create a return label within their Shipping Easy account. They'll go ahead and make a different ship from address in the settings, and then they'll have to, reverse things, and you don't need to do that. Okay, so one thing that you can do is you can generate a return label just on its own from maybe an order that never came through your store. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the other way to do it, and probably the easiest way, is if you did have an order that came through your store that you printed a label for in Shipping Easy, what you're going to want to do is go to your shipment history page. You're going to go ahead and find that order. And I don't have any orders here. I haven't shipped anything recently, but you would find it on the page here. If you don't see it initially, you can search for it here by order number. You can search for it by customer name, and it would go ahead and filter it and bring that order up for you. Once it finds that order, over here in the actions column to the far right, there's a button that says create return label. That is it. You click that button. It's going to take you back one screen, and it's just going to tell you to make sure that you know what you're doing, that the address, it's going to flip the addresses, right? So this is going to be a label that gets generated from your customer back to you, but that you're paying for, right? To give them that return. And that's all taken care of for you. The other way to do it, again, for like maybe an order that you got from a pop-up sale or something like that, or your brick and mortar store, is to go up here in the menu And instead of adding an order, we're going to create a return label. So if we click that, it's going to just ask for the address. You can either just paste that in here and we'll go ahead and put it in the different fields here. And then we're going to see, where is that shipment going? Which warehouse is it going to come back to, right? You're going to want to go ahead and choose, which warehouse you want that return to come to. This fills in an automatic order number with an R in front of it for return. You can go ahead, if you want to, for just your record keeping, you could go ahead and put the order number in here or whatever other designation you might need right in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and configure the label. And when we do configure the label, what that does is it's essentially kind of the same process as creating a label that you're gonna, for an outgoing shipment. You're just basically gonna go ahead and select what carrier you want your customer to use for that return, what service you want them to use, and then given the items in that return, if the detail is in there, it's going to go ahead and calculate that weight already for you. So it's really kind of for you as a Shipping Easy customer, being able to service that return back to your customer. It's really quick and easy and not hardly any, clicks to figure things out. Everything's kind of already right there for you, especially for an order that you printed an original outgoing label for. It's just on your shipment history page, and you can go ahead and say create return label, hit print, and then it'll go ahead and you can email that PDF of the label to your customer.
Super easy. One thing that I did find interesting in the data that a lot of larger merchants are starting to do is they're tying returns into loyalty programs. So
Mm,
you can get free returns if you are part of their loyalty plan or their loyalty
I
group.
gotcha. Right.
And
Okay.
so, that is a good way to drive signups to a rewards program for your best customers. And it protects your profits from the kind of casual returners that are killing merchants right now. Uh,
Mhm.
and actually, something that even like the savviest Shipping Easy customers don't often realize is that we actually offer a sign up form that you can generate through Shipping Easy. And this can provide you an easy way to collect email addresses from social, from in store QR codes, packing slips, branded tracking pages, and other marketing materials, and actually start building yourself an email list that you can then tie to this loyalty program. Now, Josh, do you want to hop back in and kind of show how quick and easy that is to set up?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Again, another power feature I feel for Shipping Easy. So let me go ahead and get back in here. Where you're going to find this sign up link is over here on the left-hand side in your marketing tab. Once you click on marketing, it's right here, sign up forms. And this is so great because you don't have to be a web developer. You don't have to know any code or anything like that in order to create, a link for your customers to sign up for a mailing list from you. Um, all you have to do is go through this process of just setting it up, right? So what I'm going to do for this store right here, I'm going to get a shareable URL. One is already generated there for you. That's it. Once I click this little clipboard, it copies that. And then I can go ahead and open, my Instagram page, paste it into a post. And that's immediately shared out to, all of my followers there. And where you can go ahead and put this, into a QR code generator. And there's a ton of free ones out there. It'll go ahead and generate a QR code for this. Customers can scan that with their phone, sign up for your newsletter, and then you have an email list, a content list that is automatically populating for you. And so, I mean, really, there's not much more to it than that. It doesn't, I'm not, why make it harder than it is? Just click get shareable link. It gives you the link. You can copy it right there. You also see kind of the Twitter bird, even though it's not Twitter anymore. I get it. Like we have the bird, the Facebook logo. That's a real click, one click over to those social platforms, and it'll paste the link in there for you automatically.
But Josh, as a marketing professor, I feel compelled to correct you that you cannot put clickable links in Instagram posts.
Oh, see, this tells you why you're in marketing and I'm not.
But yes, I mean, you could put it in your Instagram profile. You
There
can,
we
like I
go.
said,
That's
put
what
it
I
on your
meant,
branded
Rob.
tracking page, things
That's
like
what I
that.
meant. Yes. Thank you.
Um, but one thing I do want to also make sure I cover when we're talking about things that the larger businesses do, and you kind of started alluding to it when you mentioned the marketing tab, is customer lifecycle marketing. So
Mm,
another thing that successful large businesses do is they continue to nurture customers post-purchase and with personalized and relevant offers. But again, a lot of SMB owners don't necessarily feel like they have the time to consistently focus on customer marketing because they're focusing on shipping and building the business. And so that marketing tab is what we call our customer marketing tool, and it's a additional feature that we offer, and it allows you to combine email automation with shipping and delivery information. And so, when you're talking to customers and you're trying to get them to buy again, it's important to give them the right message at the right time with the right product that feels relevant, right?
yeah,
And so,
absolutely.
in the customer marketing tool, we not only let you use purchase data, but also shipping and delivery data to trigger emails. So, one of my favorite things is a buy it again reminder. So, if you sell a finite product like coffee or supplements, and the customer orders, 6 bags of coffee, for example, you as the coffee roaster or the coffee seller have a general idea of about how long that may last a customer. And so you can time from the delivery date that they received that box of coffee until when they may be on their last bag and have an automated email go out to remind them to buy their next round of coffee. And it's a super easy way to just continue trying to nurture customers and get them to continue buying and build a lifelong customer that way because it shows that you are taking care of them and they don't have to even think about it because you're going to remind them when they need to buy some more.
Yeah, it's really strategic. And in Shipping Easy, we make it really easy for you to just go ahead and set it up. Again, it's just a I think a 4 or 5 step click through process, but we guide you through the whole way. And then once you set it up, it just is there and running. You don't have to do anything.
Absolutely. Another one of my favorites is a win back campaign. So, if you know the last date that somebody received a package from you, you can hyper personalize that email and just say, hey, we last delivered X product to you on such and such a date and haven't heard from you since. We'd like to offer you a 10% coupon to come back to us, and you can set that up for, I usually recommend about 90 days, depending on your product. You as a merchant know your product life cycle. Um, but that's a quick, easy way to just re-engage customers who may have fallen away, who may have gone and tried a competitor, and try to bring them back with a special offer that feels hyper relevant because you know exactly when the last time they ordered and had something delivered to them. And it's those little touch points that really make a smaller business stand out and feel like
Oh
they
yeah.
have those big business capabilities.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Much more so than getting an email from, a big retailer that just has random products on it, that some of them probably I don't have any interest in and don't apply to me. I'm much more just going to delete that. But if I get something from like you said, a personalized store that really is strategic that way, man, that's going to catch my attention.
Absolutely. And then last one I like to mention is as product recommendations. You know your product, you know what either complements that product or is kind of like the next step in, that customer's journey. And so based on a previous purchase, you can send automated emails out with product recommendations that you set in your settings to help continue that buying process. And again, like show your customer that you know what they've purchased and you're recommending kind of what makes sense next in their journey. And it's little touch points like that from a marketing perspective that once you set them up, they're almost set it and forget it. You can just let those run unless
Yep.
you decide you want to go back and edit and make changes to it that you don't have to take a lot of time, but can have a major impact on your business, at your bottom
Yeah.
line, and your customer base.
Yeah, huge. We've seen, Shipping Easy customers generate, tens of thousands of dollars in repeat business just from these automated campaigns that, again, once you said, like you said, you set it up, you forget it, you turn it on, it runs, and it's almost like passive income, um, with repeat buyers coming through based on, something that they got in their inbox. It's really, really powerful.
Look at Josh dropping all these buzzwords. I'm impressed.
See? Right? Yeah. See, I want to be a marketer at heart, Rob.
There you
So,
go. You've got it in you. You've got it
all
in you.
right. All right. Good. Thank you.
So I hope that there are some strategies here that merchants can take away and hopefully use to make their customers know that they're paying attention to them, to help build their business, to give people that personalized content and personalized experience that makes them want to come back again and again. We are coming up on time, but we do have a couple of questions I wanted to address before we take off. And feel free to continue asking questions in the Q&A box. If we don't get a chance to get to them, we will absolutely follow up via email to make sure that your question is answered.
Yep.
This one I thought was really fascinating. I definitely want to address this. Someone says I've been looking into using AI to help reduce my support overhead. Have you seen merchants having success with AI? This is such a timely question because there's
It's
so much happening right now.
everywhere
Oh,
right
like
now.
my
Everywhere.
entire X, I still call it Twitter, but my entire X feed, like there's constantly things about AI in there. But from what we've seen, customers are amenable to AI in instances that it like enhances the customer experience, but doesn't replace it. So if they're
Right.
trying to check for general information or like get order updates or check the status of an order, things like that, they love it. AI is great. But in instances where they actually need real support, so like if a package is lost or damaged or it breaks or it doesn't work, that's when they don't want to lose the human element because they want to talk to somebody, they want to get it resolved, they want to take care of business.
Right.
And they don't want to run around with a chat bot or an AI tool.
Right.
So, and again, same thing if you are dealing with a customer base that is more the digital adopters than the digital natives, you're probably going to want to skew less towards AI because that audience is still holding out against the robot overlords for now.
Yeah.
So it's again partially knowing your audience and knowing how digitally savvy they are, and how willing they would probably be to use AI, but also just don't lose that human element because that human element is what really makes people gravitate towards small businesses. That they want that personalized experience. They want to feel
Sure.
like you know them, they know you. They're not just some big corporation. So that may not be a path to follow wholly, but it can be used as a supplemental tool to
Yeah. Yeah.
take some of to take some of the automated stuff off your plate.
Yeah, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but what I've heard is, AI is great for kind of that initial touch point, right? Where I can ask it a question, maybe it doesn't give me the exact answer I want. I can ask it another question, maybe it's getting close, but at some point I can say I want to talk to somebody, and then it, gets me to somebody. And so
Yeah.
I think that's where it can be useful. If it's just a quick, I ask a question and it has the answer, I can move on with my day, and that's great. But always giving that extra
Yep.
ability to talk with somebody, I think is super important.
Yep. I
Um,
totally agree.
Somebody asked a question about TikTok Shop integration. We mentioned TikTok Shop, some of the other platforms. When is Shipping Easy getting the TikTok Shop integration? I've heard it's on the product roadmap. I do not know of an exact date. Product is usually, they can't, in the past kind of promise an exact date, as it depends on, obviously the partnerships and such.
Right.
Uh, but Rob, I don't know if you have anything else to add to
I
it.
think TikTok has a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
And so I think there's got to be some kind of dust that settles before anything like that would happen. That feels like a logical place to go.
Hmm.
But it's definitely still a wait and see, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
We
Um,
got one more that came in. Says, do you recommend baking in some of the cost of free shipping into purchase price I don't
Mm.
want to lose competitively, but I just can't afford to offer the costs all the time. Josh, what do you think about that?
Yeah, customers ask me this a lot, especially, for new merchants who are maybe just getting started shipping online from, having like a brick and mortar store. How do I make my shipping attractive and affordable to my buyers, but also, get, a little bit of margin for me? How do I make sure that I'm not losing money shipping? Um, in previous studies, I know that we've looked at, it's shown that customers are willing to pay a little bit more to support a small business. Just by mere, I'd rather purchase something from a small, maybe homegrown, business as opposed to a big retailer. I would pay a little bit more, for that. Depending on your product, you may be able to work that out. That depends on your product, depends on your customer base. Um, you know, um, I have a statistic here. About 34% of businesses are actually set to increase their delivery charges this year in 2024, up from 28% last year. So if you're feeling that, you're definitely not alone in terms of having to make that up, right? Um, so the other thing that I've seen customers do is they would set kind of what they would call like a shipping threshold, for the lack of a better, word, in order to kind of increase the average order value, So encouraging customers to get the cart or their order total over a certain amount, then you can go ahead and discount the shipping, right? So for example, a lot of customers will offer even free shipping for orders over, insert your dollar amount, or orders over $50 get free shipping. You have to do a little bit of the numbers game and definitely calculate it out. But that is, those are a couple of things that I've seen customers do lately, and ask about, just in terms of, price and how I stay competitive, but also to make sure that, I'm not losing money in
Yeah,
terms of getting the package out the door.
totally right. Yeah. And also I think, when you're thinking about dealing with the cost comparisons, it's also important that you're focusing on like building your business's story, connecting to your customers, and like really leaning into the community of a business, because that when people feel connected to you, that's going to even further increase their willingness to pay a little bit extra to shop from you as opposed to someone else. So, um,
Absolutely.
never underestimate the power of community and actual like human connection to your business, because I think that that'll really help.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can't value that enough, right? I mean, I know it sounds easy. It sounds like a cliche answer, but it's true. It's totally true. I know we could probably all nod yes, because we ourselves are buyers and customers, and we would want that same thing. So,
Yep, I totally agree. Well, we were supposed to end at 12:45 and we ran a little bit over, so apologies for that.
oh,
But I hope again everyone found some takeaways here and some ways that they can personalize without getting overwhelmed, and save some money and compete in the marketplace. Again, we will be sending out a recording of this via email that you registered for, and if you have any questions, again we will follow up with any that we missed today, and we wish you the best heading into the slower summer months and right into Q4, which will be here before you know it.
absolutely. Thanks so much.
Happy shipping, everyone.